Hi, welcome to this section in which we will explore a little bit more about the chords present on the diminished scale. In a previous section we discussed that there is four major chords that are also minor, which were, if you remember, E, G, A sharp, which I decided to call A sharp, and then C sharp. Now, I left the diminished ones for later because they could be a little, chaotic at times. So, which ones are diminished? If we remember the scale, I'm going to use D diminished, which is essentially in the same place as B. And it's easier because it's just the fourth. Okay, so that's D. Now, you can think of it two ways. The easy answer is all of them, so all the notes there have a diminished chord. And remember, when I say diminished, I really mean the obnoxious long word, which is the diminished flat 5 7th chord, or 7th flat 5 diminished, whichever you want to call it. I'm just calling it the diminished, which is a 4-note chord that looks like that. Okay, so all of the root notes have a diminished chord. That one, easy. That one, so that's the easy answer, but it's a little bit more complicated than that, because when you're talking about a diminished chord, the inversions of that chord, if you remember a little bit of our inversions, look on the guitar exactly the same. So if I invert this chord, if you want to call a first inversion, you'll fall here. And if I invert that chord, you'll fall there. And so on and so forth. If I invert this chord, you will fall here. Okay? And also notice that I have stopped naming it. That's something I do because I learned pretty early that this chord has essentially 4 names because it can be inverted by 4. So it could be either E diminished or B flat diminished or C sharp diminished or G diminished. Yep. So 4 of those are already here. And easy, the other 4, what do you think they are? Well, they're there. Okay? So that one, if I invert it, goes there, then there, and finally there. So that's the other way to look at it. You have 2 diminished chords with 4 inversions each, which give you the 8 chords that I just mentioned. So again, one way to look at it is that I have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or I have only 2 with 4 inversions each. Now, the major and minor chords that we have discussed in a previous section are also could also be diminished. I didn't want to mention that before because I thought it was going to be a little bit, off. So that E that can be major or minor could also be diminished. play not like that. I like it better without the other augmented fourth. You see, the diminished chord has that dissonant, you know, feel to it of augmented fourth. So sometimes I omit the second one. So like we said, major and diminished. And the neat part of this is that that same chord, right, which I said has 4 names, 2 of those are E, diminished because I have E there, and G, right? So that chord is associated, for a lack of better word, with my E progression here from major to minor, sorry, and also G. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that it's an easy path. Go from here to here, or from here to here. So from there I just simple progression. I went from G major, minor, then to our diminished, which both of those fall into that one, and then E minor, E major. So that little circle, if you will, can present a lot of possibilities, and it happens, you know, 4 times, so that this one, you know, is the tipping point, if you will, for my E and G. And then I have another one here. This one will be for my G, and the next one, which is A sharp. And then I have this one, which is for A sharp, and for C sharp. And then the last one, which is this one here, will be of course for C sharp, which is here, and for E. So that's what I wanted to discuss this time. There's 4 diminished chords, 8 diminished chords, or 2 and 4 inversions, and those work really well to try to make those progressions between our major and minor ones. So I'll play with that and see you.